guys, welcome to another episode of No Tea, Just Coffee. My name is Tam.
And I'm Jordan.
In today's episode, we are talking about basically balancing our careers with our relationships. We have two different relationships. She's married, I'm in a long distance relationship. So, exactly how do you balance that, right? And then our shoot the shit. I don't know what we're talking about.
We'll figure it out though by the time we get there.
We'll figure it out by the time we get there. But yeah, so the meat and potatoes.
Current obsessions.
Oh yeah, current obsessions. Yeah. Oh, that's an easy one. So yeah, that's our meat and potatoes is, balancing our careers with our relationships, and then, shoot the shit a little bit later on our obsessions. So with that being said, let's get into it. Sorry. We're hearing dogs in the background.
I have a pony in the background that wants to be on camera. He cannot. Not today.
Oh man.
Not making an appearance.
Okay, well let's get into it. So yeah, I'm in a long distance relationship. I think I've mentioned that before in other episodes. When I say long distance, it's only a few hours away, but it's still long distance. We don't have the luxury of being able to see each other every single day, sometimes not even every single week. And if you know me, my schedule is busy, okay? I am
busy
always
boots.
Yes, I'm always doing something. I have my 9 to 5. And then when I'm in season, which in season really is like August all the way through till March.
Yeah.
When I'm in season, I'm working and then I'm going straight into something else. So I coach a dance team, right? So after work, I'm going straight to practice until 9:30, 10 o'clock. I work with other teams. So almost every day I could really have something going on. Sometimes my weekends can be busy and full. And same thing with my boyfriend. He's also busy. But what we do, it may sound crazy, but we kind of have to we have to plan and schedule things out, each month, or we're looking at okay, well, what do we have going on this month, or what do we have going on that month? And based off of what we both have going on, we're plugging, dates in and okay, well, how long? What? And for me, it can be to be honest, sometimes it could be a day trip, right? As long as I get to just see you and be with you. Sometimes it may be a few days. Other times it'll be a week or so. The times vary, but
So let me ask you this: what made you want to get into a long distance relationship?
I mean, I don't know if I.
Let me ask you this too: is your first long distance relationship?
Nope.
No. Okay.
I don't know if I can't say I wanted it to happen.
Yeah. What made you want to consider it and
actually move forward with it? Well, probably because of how far. We're not that far.
Yeah.
We're not across the country.
That's true.
You know what I mean? We're 3 hours away.
Yeah.
That really can be a day trip.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit more.
Which can make a difference.
Yeah. That's a little bit more manageable. That's a little bit more doable. Either one of us can just hop in the car and just go, see each other.
That's
true. So that was one reason, because the distance wasn't that far of a distance. Yeah. And then also just we've known each other for a while. And it's just one of those things, if you want to make it work, you're going to make it work.
That's right.
And I really do believe that in all situations. Is this my first long distance relationship? It's not.
Yeah.
I've been in another one. Now this person, whole nother time zone. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's hard.
Hard. Now that one was difficult. Now that was also when I was a little bit younger.
Yeah.
I think now as an adult, I think the efforts and sacrifice and all that stuff is easier to deal with and manage.
Yes.
Back then, and this is just me.
Yeah.
For me, back then, it wasn't that easy for me because I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. Who am I?
That's true.
You know what I mean? Who am I? What's my career gonna be? I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out.
Settled as an individual.
Yeah, so trying to manage.
Yeah.
That type of long distance was really, really hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I think the time wasn't it's not a lot of time.
Now, I guess also it probably makes a difference because, like you said, you've known him for quite some time,
Mm-hmm.
and so your willingness is more there than if if you met somebody and they like, well, I live in California. It's like, yeah, we ain't gonna better do that.
I don't know if I would start. I don't know if I would start like a brand new long distance relationship. That I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah.
But with someone that like I've known and I think it's worth exactly. It's worth the time. It's worth the effort.
Yes.
I mean, excuse me, and even my other long distance relationship, like the person was worth the time and effort. It was just hard for me
to manage it
at that time in my life.
Yeah.
It just wasn't that easy.
And to be quite honest, long distance or not, when you are young and trying to figure out who you are and what you want to be when you grow up, all those things.
Right.
A relationship is hard to manage anyway.
Right.
I mean, adding distance makes it more complicated, but to fit a relationship and make that a priority is difficult, and to add distance can make it, I'm sure, even more complicated.
Yeah.
To figure out.
Yeah. So we gotta do a lot of pre-planning, basically. Yeah. So what about you?
I think
because you married with a kid too.
Yes, I am. But Alfred and our relationship, I always say it's been a journey because majority of the time that we've been together, he has always worked nights and we've never really seen each other. So we too have had to schedule on Saturday. And a lot of times his Saturdays, not anymore, thank God, but used to be I'm sleeping all day. Yeah. So really it would be Sunday. This is our time. Which would get tricky because it's our time, but then it's also family time. Right. So I'm not gonna say it's been a lot of years of us trying to, and that was one thing when we went to therapy, which was a game changer.
Yes, was therapy.
Because it was time. Yeah. You're not making the time, and if you don't,
because of his job.
Yeah. We literally, when I first started working at our current job, I would not see him until Friday. Because when I would leave for work and take Elliot to daycare or whatever, and that happened for like 5-6 years. He's been, this current shift, which has been a game changer also for our family, our relationship, has only been about 2 years. So the majority of our relationship, I have not seen
basically him. Pandemic on.
Pandemic on.
Wow.
And so, it's a challenge too, because you do have to always think about the time that you need to spend with your mates. Yeah. And having a child, it's almost like you're kind of pulled in two different directions because my son is getting older. He needs attention in a different way.
He's probably getting into more stuff.
So trying to manage that and also be aware of, okay, I need to spend time. So I say, like, long distance or not, it is hard to make your relationship a priority when you have so many different things going on. Yours is very career driven. Like you've got so many hats to wear. And then where mine is personal, where it's like I gotta be mom and I gotta be advocate and I've gotta make sure my son is taken care of mentally. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
one thing I will say, excuse me, I've literally always been the on the go, busy. I've always had multiple things going on in my life. Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people would be able to really like deal with that, especially if like they're not just as busy. Yep. Right. You know what I mean? Agree. Or not just as career driven or focused. And so the blessing with it all is that my boyfriend and I, we are, right? So he understands if I'm like, look, babe, I'm like, we may not be able to see each other this month because whatever. That's right. There's no argument, right? Yes. he understands. He gets it.
Understanding.
It's a mutual understanding, you know.
And also that's a good point because Alfred knows, and we've had many conversations. No other female, because I'm very much independent, and I'm also I like my me time.
So do I.
So any other female that wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because I know very well I may not see you. I know very well that you out here making it happen. You have to have that understanding.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, it's insecurities that come into play. Like I'm very much a female that I don't need to see you every day. I really don't.
And I think that's another reason too. Like, I'm the same way. Like I don't need to see you every day. I love you
to death,
but I don't need to see you.
But
every
I don't
day.
need physical. Like
not every single
not every day.
Like you know, like sometime apart. You know.
Now I'll give you one better. Now Alfred, he pretty much sleeps. Like when he get off of work, he sleeps until about 1. And then I have maybe 3-4 hours. That's all I need.
You're good.
And I'm serious. My cup runneth over. You know?
That's enough. Thank you.
I be like, and all right. Then I'm up to my bedroom. I'm watching my shows. I'm working on something with this podcast or whatever. My mind has always been that way. I can compartmentalize sometimes.
Yep.
Time with Alfred is 4 hours. Time with Elliot is 2 hours. That's how I'm thinking about it. And then I'm like, okay, then my me time I got like an hour and a half or 2. So my days are very methodic. I'm
very planned out. That's kind of crazy.
Because my energy, you know, I already told you. Like if I don't, this could be a whole episode in itself. But the way that I am is, I know how much like energy I can give.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I use it up too much,
you done for the week.
Honey. Cause I tell Alfred, now you want me to do this?
Right.
Like you want me to ride this bike for 6 miles?
Right.
But and you want me to cook dinner?
But he understands that though, right? Yeah.
He'll be like, babe, okay, if you do this,
it's the same way. It's the same way with me. Like when me and my boyfriend see each other, sometimes like just that one day,
that's all.
I'm good for about a week or 2. And sometimes it's not. Like sometimes
it's not.
Yeah,
right.
It just it's weird. It's like it just depends. Like sometimes we'll see each other like over a weekend, like from a Friday to Sunday.
That's good.
That's good.
And I'm good.
That's good for me for a little bit. Like, you know, but yeah, it does vary. But you brought up a good point that not every person, especially female, can deal with that. Because you're going to get the where you been, I need to talk to you more, how come you did.
I don't need to do none of that. What? I listen, and sometimes
and this is another thing. If I feel like I have to, which I have never, and I will never, if I have to do all that,
it ain't even all that.
I don't need to be with you.
Because if I can't trust you, it don't matter whether you're driving a truck, going to the grocery store. I just don't trust you, period.
Yeah.
And if you can't trust that person, then you don't need to be with them.
Don't need to be with them.
Or address what is really going on. You got either you got trust issues, or that person has done something to you that you haven't gotten through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Work through it. Because now you sacrificing your mental space.
Yep.
For thinking about who, what, when, where, what. You using up too much energy, sis.
Yeah. Let me ask you. Yeah. I feel when you were getting your master's.
Let's not even talk.
Well, no. I feel like wasn't that also kind of like a transitional period of like trying to balance everything too?
Holy shit. I don't even know how I did it.
Yeah.
It's a blur. And I mean that 100%.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I made it.
But that was during the time when he was basically gone.
Not at home.
Okay.
And
did that add more stress to like just the dynamics of it? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, again, Alfred is always supportive of what I want to do.
Yeah.
But that's when I say the power of the mind. And also I prayed real heavy on it. because 2 weeks before I was supposed to start my master's program is when Alfred was diagnosed with lupus. And I prayed about it. I said, God, if this ain't it,
yeah, let me know.
Because honestly, mentally, I wasn't in a space because I thought I ain't gonna have my husband for too much longer.
Yeah, I remember.
Well, we weren't married at the time, but I wasn't gonna have him. So in my mind, I'm thinking I'm preparing to take care of my son. I'm preparing to get another job. You know, I'm in that mode. And then something, I think either me and Alfred had a conversation or whatever the case may be. He was like, "No, get your master's.
Yeah, do
like regardless of what may happen with me, you got to get your master's because this is what you want to do.
That's what you want to do. I love that.
So, but still, it was a mind game because we was real heavy into doctor's appointments.
Yeah.
We was like really just trying to figure all that out. So I was getting my master's, taking care of Elliot, and also just being supportive to Alfred because it was a really uncertain time.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know how I got through it. I
don't really work on top of that.
Oh, I forgot.
And your job.
Oh yeah, and pay bills. But honestly, Tam, I really don't remember a lot of that time. I remember specifically being in the hospital with Alfred, but my master's program, I do remember a lot of late nights. I do remember being up till, the wee hours of the morning, doing my homework, making use of my time. But one thing, look, I'm getting off topic, but one thing that has taught me is that if anybody comes to me for advice and they tell me they can't do something and they really harping on it, it's like,
what you mean?
Your mind, once you get determined of you can do something,
oh yeah,
you can absolutely do it.
Absolutely.
Even in times of despair, even in times of uncertainty. I'm telling you right now, the power of your mind. Like your body may be tired.
Yeah.
But because I was tired. Yeah. I was tired writing them papers and stuff. But once you click in, can't nobody tell you nothing. You can do it. So that was a lesson learned that I take with me for the rest of my life because I might have been tired and in despair, but honey, I locked and loaded and was doing it.
You had to do what you had to do.
Now don't ask me to do it again. This is tired.
I kind of feel like that's women though.
Oof. We get into gear.
Yeah.
And we get it done.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
So sorry to get off topic.
No, that's a good point though.
But yeah. But I think balancing, you always gonna work at it. Because sometimes it's gonna get out of balance.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're gonna be like, no, wait a minute.
I mean, me and my boyfriend, we have had we've had moments. Well, because because it just sounds crazy when I say it out loud, but we've had moments where we didn't see each other for a couple of months, a few months, because literally our schedules just didn't match each other or just didn't balance, and it just didn't, you know what I mean? And that can get difficult.
Yeah.
Now, I joked about, a day is good enough, and 3 days sometimes good enough.
Yeah.
And yes, it is, but
not all the time.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
I need to see to see my man.
And that's true, because as much as I may say 3-4 hours, I actually look forward to it. I'm looking at the clock oh, it's 1:00. You about to get up and get going. And that's our time. And 9 times out of 10, Elliot's not in school right now, but when he is in school, I don't have to worry about Elliot.
Right.
So I can take a second or two, chit chat with him, make him lunch or whatever the case may be. And that's the time that I use. That's the point that I want to make, is using that time as not just time. It's valuable.
Yeah,
don't
absolutely.
Forget, if your partner only has, and that's a lesson learned for me too, because I wouldn't use that time that I had with him as treat it like it's gold. You know what I mean? I didn't, because I was I was thinking,
because you guys are all together all the time. I'm seeing you all the time. We're already.
And then I think honestly once
he got ill,
it was
really,
a game changer
for me. Absolutely.
Then I started to use the time that I had with him I'm treating this like gold as much as I can. And of course it's never perfect.
No.
I mean, I'm gonna have attitude sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but you know what, even for me selfishly, anytime I see my boy, if he comes here, selfishly, I don't want to hang out with my friend.
No,
Like,
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in the house, or it's him and I. We're doing stuff,
We doing stuff.
Like,
that's right.
Because I haven't had a chance to just be with him.
I'm glad that you said that because, sometimes I do feel bad because, like, literally, I'm the only friend of my friend group that has the dynamic that I have
What you
with
mean?
my significant other. Like, I don't see Alfred most of the time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas some of my other friends, they live together, they see each other.
Their work time schedule is the same. Yeah.
It's nothing for them.
Mm-hmm.
But once the weekend comes, there are times I'm like, nah, I ain't doing nothing. I'm gonna be in the house,
right,
with or doing something with Alfred because I really just haven't had that quality time Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And so it has been also a challenge to kind of balance my friendships that I find important to me and to also balance the time with my husband. Because I don't want either to be sacrificed. But at the same time, my husband comes 1st. But then I know, you know what I mean?
No, I get it because even, I'm responsible for it a little bit, but like, even like me and my boyfriend hanging out with my friends, like it doesn't happen that often. And it is selfishly because of me.
Yeah.
Like when I see him, I just want it to be us, you know. But something else that we do is, and it's not all the time, but we still try to kind of like date each other, if you will,
absolutely.
like go out and do stuff like
You
that.
have to.
Yeah, just because we are long distance. But I'm not even gonna say because it's long distance. I think
it's essential.
Yeah, in any relationship.
I think you have
and
to
don't get comfortable.
And that can happen too. You can most certainly get comfortable.
Yeah.
And think, well, we've been doing this, and then just sit on it. No, you can't get comfortable
into this routine. It's just
don't do it.
Wake up, do the same thing. Wake up, like
somebody got to say something.
Yeah.
Because and it's probably gonna be the female, but
right. Don't you? Sorry, that's gonna be on another episode. That's gonna be in another episode. But don't you hate that?
Why?
I just got on somebody about that. I don't want to always be the one to say something.
I know you know.
I know
it ain't a secret. We both are in this together. But you just going and going and going and going, and ain't said nothing. Hey, we need a date night. You didn't know. You do know. Because as soon as I say, oh yeah, we do need.
So this whole time you just wasn't okay.
It's gonna be the female.
It's
always gonna be the female that's gonna say, "Hey, we getting out of balance here. We need a date night or something." Now,
guys, I'm gonna need y'all to step up, okay? Okay. If you see it, say something, okay?
Please, for our sake.
We don't want to always be we don't want to be the naggers all the time.
We don't. Because we got 77 other things we thinking about too.
Right.
And we're trying to get around to telling you that we need a date night. And then you gonna and also plan the date night. We have 77 other things that we planning out because females are better planners. I don't care what nobody's saying.
Period.
But that one thing, just plan that out.
Yeah.
Now that one thing.
So my boyfriend, he not the best planner, okay? And so he wanted us, he wanted us to go out.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's cute. And so him and his cousins or friends had went to some bar, and he made friends with the owner or whatever. And the owner was like, yeah, you should come back. So I'm like, okay, cool. And he was like, yeah, it's like a pool, like a pool hall, whatever.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize it was literally nothing but pool tables.
Oh, it was a for real pool hall.
It was a for real pool hall.
Like, you can't do nothing else.
You can't do nothing else but pool. And so I was like,
so what I'm supposed to do?
I don't know how to play pool. And here he go. Yeah, me neither. Not really, but what? So we just in here just hitting some balls. Don't know what's happening. Bless his heart. But it was. But we had some great food though. Yeah. Like, honestly, it was still fun because I was horrible at it. He actually was pretty. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But it was just funny because I was like, he didn't think this one all the way through. But that's besides the point. It was just time spent. Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, like, for my birthday.
With the one where we were all at? What happened?
I don't play golf.
Oh,
I don't really have an interest in going to Top Golf, to be honest with you. But I had a time of my life.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, at least he tried, because my friend Jess was like, I thought about that. She was like, he said Top Golf, and I was like, does Jordan really want to do Top Golf? But it was the effort.
It was the effort.
And he, it was probably a little easier for him to like put together. It's a central location for everybody in all sides of the town. So I appreciate that.
I must say, and like we appreciate those.
Absolutely.
Like to think like, okay, I know this ain't what he really does, but he really tried or whatever. Like that's what counts. Yeah.
And we will roll with it. Because it's always like they say, women, if you give us like 10%, we'll give you 100.
Ain't that it?
All you gotta do is just drop a little something in our cup, and we'll take that and run with it and give you 100%.
Yeah.
It don't take very much.
Yeah. Another thing that we'll do, like, because we do like to stay in the house too. We do like movie nights.
Oh, I love a good movie.
We love watching. I'm a sports girl, so I can sit up with him and watch a football game.
Yeah.
I can watch basketball all day. So like if it's a day where some football or basketball's on, we getting some wings, some fries,
some wings.
and we all in it, but.
And I think that's a good point too. Like, don't always, and Tam know this, I ain't no fine dining kind of gal. I'm not that. And Alfred is.
Is he?
He's so sedity.
Why I don't get that from him? Okay.
He'll go either way, but he loves his nice restaurants. Whereas for me, take me to Sun King Brewery.
I love a good sports bar.
Give me some TV. First of all,
take me somewhere with a TV and a good drink.
Hold on, and sit me outside.
Good. That's
I love
best.
my beer. Give me a good beer.
Yeah, she love her beer.
I love my beer.
I love a good margarita.
We good to go.
And let me tell you, if it's a sports day too.
Yeah.
And there's something,
and it's like a vibe.
That's all I need. That's it. But also because I like a good restaurant every now and again.
Me too.
But when I say every now and again,
it ain't got to be.
Yeah,
all that. Because really, like, we have some little cute spots, like on Mass Ave, or we have some cute little spots in Fountain Square. As long as it's got a little cute vibe to it, I'm good to go. I don't really need to get really dressed up, and I'm not doing really any of that. But
yeah,
and I think you should kind of know that about your mate anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, I mean, Alfred knows 9 times, and I love Mexican, so he know like we're gonna go here, go there, and then every now and then, because of him, we'll go to like a nice little upscale restaurant. But change it up. Like, it can't always be one sided too. Find out what your man like and what he like to do, and do something he want to do.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess in all, like with just balancing things is it's just finding that time, really. With your guys' schedule, and sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't always balance out right. But as long as you guys are communicating and you guys understand that with each other, then I think it's okay. If there's no type of communication, if you guys aren't talking about the why, why can't I see you this month, or why I have to wait however long, or why can't we do whatever, right? As long as you're communicating with each other, I think. And there has to be understanding too. Like my boyfriend understands my schedule. Yes. He understands my hustle, because I have literally been that way.
That is with
my entire life.
That's with Alfred and me. I have a great understanding and respect. Didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
But we had a conversation of like, babe, this is what I remember when he got his CDL license, and he was like, this is what's going to be required of me.
Yeah. How did was you skeptical at first, or?
I was so excited because he was excited.
Oh, okay.
Like I have a picture of him, like he drives the 40-footer. Don't give me the line. The big semis. So he had a picture of him standing in front of it. I was very excited because
he was excited about it. Yeah.
From the time I can think of it, I kind of knew what I wanted to do, like as far as schooling and what I pretty much knew. But Alfred, he, had worked with his dad in construction, so he was trying to find his
Trying
way.
to figure out, yeah.
Whereas I was still in school, I'm in my undergrad at IUPUI, and I felt bad because he was on that journey of finding what he wanted to do. And as soon as he got his CDL, it was like light bulb flipped on. And he was like,
he was excited.
I love it. So for me, because he loved it so much, who am I to crush his dreams?
Absolutely.
And he's always been there for me during mine. So, but it has not been easy because.
So when did it start to like kick in? Like, oof, wait a minute now.
After I had Elliot, and that was not.
Well, that makes sense. You bringing a child.
Oh, wait,
exhausted. So he was still.
He was not.
Did he have any?
He had 2 weeks time off.
Oh man.
And then I was basically in school.
Yeah.
This is another blur. This I know that you can do anything you put your mind to. I had Elliot. I was finishing my undergrad. I had an internship and I was going to work.
Housewife.
And let me tell you something. One of my best friends, Ashley, would watch Elliot.
Yeah.
My dad and his wife would watch Elliot. My auntie, I would be playing the lottery, like who's gonna pull the ticket this week?
Yeah.
Who's gonna help me this week? And I would be driving all over the place.
That support system matters, boy.
Because without it,
that village,
there would be none.
Yeah.
And so I'm forever grateful to my family and friends who helped me during that time, because it wouldn't have been possible anyway. I wouldn't have been able to do it because mentally you're being stretched.
So do you think that if they wouldn't have been there to help you with Elliot, like you wouldn't have been able to essentially focus on your dream and what it is that you want to do?
I wouldn't have.
So then if that wouldn't have happened, then what would have been the plan? Like with you and Alfred, what would have been the plan of like?
I really probably just would have went to work.
Just found a job.
And found a job.
Oh man.
And I would have probably I put Elliot in daycare too, because it got to a certain point where it was like it was too much for me to try to find somebody every week. So I ended up putting him at a church and then at a daycare. So I was always trying to find a new daycare or whatever. But if I did not have that support, I wouldn't have been able to finish school at all. I would have just been working. Yeah.
And then you wouldn't be where you're at now.
Look at God.
Won't he do it?
He will every time.
All the time.
Well, and that's the thing with look, and I'm getting off topic again too. That's the thing with this podcast. You know what I mean? Like Tam talks about she's busy, but she finds time for this podcast.
I do believe like you make time for what you want to do.
That's what the relationship is too. If it is important to you,
or even to the other person.
To the other person, you have to have a mutual understanding of this relationship is a priority.
Yep.
It is something that when I say on a daily, I work on our relationship on a daily. I work on myself on a daily. I get up and because there's other things that I could be doing. You know what I mean? But my relationship is more important than that.
Yeah.
So you have to know what is a priority. And if you don't, you have to have a conversation with your mate. It's like, how do we get here? What's the next step in our relationship? Like, what's our journey?
Yeah. Because what's the end goal?
Because you don't want to waste nobody's time.
Yeah.
You don't want to waste nobody's effort. Like, you got to have, and Tam, she says communication a lot, but that is so true of understanding where we are and where we want to be. And it takes continuous effort to create that balance.
Yeah.
As best as you can.
Yeah.
And then like Tam said, when it gets out of balance, hey,
let's just pull it, bring it in.
What's going on?
Let's check in. Let's figure this out.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I think that's important.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just curious about that. Like, well, how did that transition happen? Like, how did you guys work through that?
A lot of that, especially when you are young too. We were young, and we had not been dating much. What am I trying to say? We hadn't been dating that long until Elliot was like, "I'm here, guys."
Yeah.
Because really, the transition, honey, from being independent to now you about to be a family.
Yeah.
Now we all know we all grown. If you don't want to have a kid, you know what you need to do.
You know what you need to do.
We was not doing that. Right. So here comes Elliot, and it was like, oh my God, my whole life came tumbling down as I knew it. Because I was gonna be a career woman. I was not gonna have nobody's kids. I was just gonna date. I met somebody great, but I'm like, Afro great, but I got things I'm trying to do.
You got things you're trying to do.
And then here comes Elliot.
Now, this is what I will say. Me being in so I was in a long distance relationship before. Then I had a 3-year in person. what would you call it? In person. I'm so used to long distance. I don't even know what to. I don't know what to call it. What you call it? I was
like in person meeting. What's happening?
That's a regular relate. Yeah, I know what I'm trying to say. In person.
Yeah, something like that.
Somebody help me out.
I was like, are we talking about a meeting? Yes.
But
not long distance.
Not yes. In the city, we saw each other all the time, and then back to long distance. But by the time I met my boyfriend that lived here, I kind of worked through some of how you're I was trying to work when you had Elliot, you were still trying to work things out, and you're trying to get this to go in.
Because you had something in mind of how you wanted it to be.
Right. But while I was trying to do that, I was in a long distance relationship, right?
Yeah.
So it made it a little bit easier because I didn't have that person.
Nobody was right there in your face.
Nobody's right there in my face. You know what I mean? I could honestly really focus on whatever it is that I was trying to do. Now, not forgetting that person.
Right.
But if I were to be honest, it was a little bit easier. It was a little bit easier for me, right? So then by the time I get into my relationship with my ex who lived here, I felt a little bit more established. Now I'm just kind of going on whatever this journey is. Yep. You know what I mean? And same thing with him. He had his thing going. So now we're just kind of, I guess, working together
to blend it.
To blend it, right? And then now I'm back in long distance relationship.
Yeah.
But now even more so.
Yeah.
I've established what it is I'm trying to do.
That's right.
I'm moving on with everything, but it does make it easier to focus on yourself a little bit more when you're in a long distance relationship.
I didn't think about it like that, but that is true because
when you're talking about career wise, but there's other things that need to happen.
Oh, absolutely.
But career wise, it just made it easier.
Now let me ask you this: since you are in a long distance, do you feel like you have to over communicate, or do you feel like because you're not in their presence, you have to, it's almost heightened to we got to make sure we're on the same page, we got to make sure, you know what I mean?
So to me, I think I've said it 100 times. I think communication is key, but that is even more so when you're in a long distance relationship. Now, those who know me, I've talked about my current relationship. It is not traditional. Okay. Now, in comparison to my current and my previous long distance, my current long distance relationship, we started our relationship off a certain way, communicating, and it just kind of has continued that way. So I say that to say we're not an everyday talking couple. Right. We'll text every other day. We'll hit each other every other whatever. Right. We're not an everyday talking couple, but that is how from the time we met.
How it's been.
How it's just always been, right? Now, my previous long distance relationship, every day.
Yeah.
And it's because that's how it started.
Yeah.
So now the expectation from both of us, right, is to hear from each other every day. But I do think, and even with my current relationship, I do think that there has to be, you have to communicate. You have to.
Yeah,
you have to be, even if it's just a text, I don't know, just knowing like that person, because you're so far from each other,
Yeah.
just knowing that that person is just even thinking about you, like
Absolutely.
it helps. You know
It
what I
does
mean?
help.
So yeah, I do think that
What
that
is it?
communication piece.
Consideration?
Hmm?
Constant consideration.
Yeah,
You do have to, and even in a non-long distance relationship, constant consideration.
you could send me an emoji with heart eyes. I'm
That's
like,
it.
oh, he's thinking of me. You know, like
Like
yeah.
me and Alfred, like because he is on the road a lot of the time, and like he'll send a text like "Love you, babe," just
Mm-hmm.
random. That's all I need
That's it.
because all I know is okay. He's considering me or thinking about me.
And that for me, that's that. Like to know like you're thinking of me, and
Hmm.
vice and
Yeah.
I'm sure guys want to feel
No.
that too. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So to know
Yeah.
like your person is just think like a random time during the
Yes.
day, you know,
Yeah.
like yeah, that feels
It's
good.
important.
Mm-hmm.
I think just consistency, consideration, and just like Tam was saying, like check in with each other to
Yeah.
know like are we still on the same page?
Yeah.
Because the distance, whether that is actual distance or
You
the
can
distance
grow apart.
of just somebody living in your own house, y'all can grow apart. And the more
Mm-hmm.
time you take to not address it, that person already left mentally.
Now, I'll be honest, there was a moment in my current relationship where I felt like that was starting to
Because
happen
this, yeah.
because of the distance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, who was the one to say something? Me.
Yeah.
But but it's like yeah, let's check in and see what's going
Yeah.
on. And I'm very much I am type of person like I like someone who is going to be open,
Mm-hmm.
honest, and transparent with me,
No matter what it is.
no matter what it is, right?
Like we can talk about anything.
Anything, like so in that in with me saying that, it's
Yeah.
like yeah, we had to check in and just see like
Absolutely.
what's going on, and really what it was on both ends, we were so deep.
Absolutely.
And I think that was when I was like
That is the point.
super heavy, and like had all this choreography to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so my mind is focused on trying to get all these
Yes.
things done, right? Because one, as a choreographer, you don't want to
Yep.
have a bad reputation. Like you want
Yes.
to make sure you're
You gotta
delivering.
be in tune
Yeah, you have to be
at
in
all
tune.
times.
And then
Yeah.
for him, like he was super focused on what he was. So we're both focusing on our own things,
Yes.
and we're forgetting about each other. And
Yep.
really, that's what it was. But like that check in
Yeah.
needed
It's
to happen
important.
to like really check ourselves and be like, all right,
Yeah.
let's just get back. Let's get it back
Well,
together.
and that there's such a similarity, even though the distance
Mm-hmm.
is not similar for our relationships, but in general, that needs to happen no matter whether the person lives
Oh, I believe that
with
too.
you or in a different state,
Absolutely.
because it's just detrimental. it,
Mm-hmm.
it really is, like,
Mm-hmm.
and that also is something that I personally had to learn, to be a better communicator,
Mm-hmm.
to address those things that may feel uncomfortable. But once you start getting into the motion of that,
Mm-hmm.
we pretty much can talk about anything. You just kind of have to have those conversations, and some feelings may be hurt or some things may be said that you like, dang, I didn't even know. But once y'all establish that ability to openly communicate about anything,
Yeah,
that also has a lot of value and a lot of strength to your relationship,
it
because you can
does.
pretty much get through
Do
anything
anything.
once you break that barrier.
Yeah.
um
No, you're right. I mean, in general, I just think all relationships, like
yeah.
you're going to be balanced at some point in time,
Hmm.
and then sometimes you're going to get off balance.
Absolutely.
Whether one person is more focused on
Yep.
something else than the other person, but somebody has to be
Somebody
willing
has
to
to.
like just say something.
Yep.
Like you can't just let it go
Yeah.
on. And honestly, even in our situation, I kind of felt like it went on a little bit too long because
Yeah.
I noticed it, I recognized
Right.
it, and in my head, I'm like,
I know you noticed
I
it too.
know you noticed this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So someone has to
Yeah.
be able to just get the
Get it going.
get everybody back on balance.
Yeah. But
Um,
also, Tam, too, and then we can move on. But you made another good point of like being siloed into your career and what you got going
yes,
on.
yeah,
That also too can happen.
It doesn't. It's not long distance, but because in our situation, that's what was happening.
I think even because people are in the same household, you may not even know what's going on with your partner because you're siloed, and you think that because we live together, they automatically know what's going on with me. They already know like what I'm feeling. No, they don't, because sometimes you just get into your everyday, and you do have to have a check-in because
when you okay,
because like. I'm thinking about when Alfred was getting his CDL license.
Yeah.
He was very siloed.
Yeah.
He was 10 and 2.
Yep.
He had to study. He had to take tests. Like pretty much me and Elliot were on the back burner.
Now, how were you when you were getting your master's?
Same thing. But I didn't
not intentionally too. It just happens, you know?
I really focused on me and my son. And our relationship suffered.
Yeah.
It suffered when he was getting his CDLs, and it suffered when I was getting my master's.
Yeah.
And it is because I got this finish line.
Yep.
That I got to get to. Yep. Now, it was not healthy. And I don't recommend it.
Yeah, no.
Because there were times that we had to be like, are we here? Are we together or are we roommates?
Because it was
a roommate thing.
Yeah.
So I think, you can get so determined, but let me tell you something. There's nothing more valuable than me achieving my master's and knowing that I got my partner here to
having
support
that support. You know what? That just recently happened to me. Like something that I just recently accomplished.
Yeah.
Yes. And during this time, I know because it wasn't just like with my boyfriend, it was like with all of my relationships, right? Yeah. I had this big opportunity that came up, and when I say I was locked in, I didn't see my mom, my brother. We all live in the same city. It was about good 2-3 weeks where I just
locked in,
and I just siloed myself from everybody. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But what I will say though is that there was understanding behind it.
100%.
And they knew what I was trying to do. And then once I finished and accomplished it, it was so good to be able to just like express that and share it with.
But I think people know that because you've expressed that. You've communicated to us, and we also have a level of respect for you.
Right.
That you've earned. You know what I mean? Because some people expect people to know, well, I got this going on, and you expect people to support you, but that kind of, okay, I know you're gonna check out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You have to earn that kind of thing in a relationship. And that's why I say people were understanding because of the time and support that you've given them. And we respect you for that.
Yeah.
So when it's your turn to check out, we didn't even.
But let me actually, sorry, not to get off topic, but you know what? The entire time, she was checking in on me.
I did.
Just a text like, "Hey, I hope everything's going well. Like, I hope you kill." Like,
because it's kind of like I'm coming behind the plane. Like, you all right?
Right.
All right.
Because like I literally was like, "Peace out."
But
I have to lock
knew
in.
How stressed you were too.
Ooh, child.
So I was like, let me put a little seed there real quick and let you know, hey.
But I appreciate that. But
it's because there's a mutual respect, there's a mutual understanding that has been developed.
Yeah.
That too is not just in your mate's relationship, not in just a marriage, but in a friendship.
Yeah.
Balance there too.
Yeah, yeah.
Check in on each other. I have an understanding of, hey, I'm out here getting it.
Yeah.
So I think that too needs to be recognized in friendships as well as creating that balance. But it also is earned and worked on over time. So
earned.
It's earned.
Yeah.
You ain't about to come in here and talk about I'm checking out for 3 weeks. First of all,
well, deuces.
We probably won't even be friends.
Right. Well, this is the last time you're hearing from me.
Especially with a mate.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because this is kind of off topic, but it's not. But like you think about basketball wives or wives of athletes that are gone for months.
Oh, right. And they really lock in. Like they like.
You don't see them actors and actresses. They got to be on the movie set for 6 months. That don't just expect your mate to be like, all right,
like okay,
and hold
it
down.
Fine.
They've earned that.
Yeah, that's true.
And if they haven't, the relationship breaks up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it's like, listen,
yeah,
you ain't making this balance good enough for me to just let you check out for 6 months.
But that's a good point though. Like it has to be earned.
Gotta be earned.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be coming in like, yo, this is what I do. No.
I'll talk to you in about 3 weeks. What?
Well, I would have had to change my number by then. Right. I won't be seeing you anymore.
Oh man, that's funny.
But anything else on that before we move to shoot the shit?
Nah, nothing else for me.
Okay. So current obsessions. Yeah, exactly. We're gonna get into Tam's real quick. Tam should have a picture on the wall of Starbucks as the number one contributor to their success.
When I tell y'all I am obsessed with Starbucks.
How many times you go a day?
Huh?
3? Because I done counted one day.
I feel like every time my mom says this too.
She's like, hold on one second, I gotta order the Starbucks. Tam, is that you? Yes. Let me see if I can get your order. Hold on. Strawberry refresher.
Mm-hmm.
Extra ice. Extra juice.
No strawberries.
No strawberries.
And y'all, this is what's crazy. I don't even drink coffee. I get one of these every time. Now I have cut back on how many times. Yes. I used to go breakfast, lunch, and dinner time. Okay?
Well, how many times you go now? 2?
Twice.
Girl, you done cut back. What?
I cut
once?
Now, and sometimes I try not to go until a certain time. Like I try to wait until like lunchtime because then that's gonna hold me over for like a long time. You know, and then maybe by like 6, 7, I'm like, you know what? Let me get my last one.
I want to be like, can y'all just make her a gallon?
I know she has said that. But what's crazy, I have 3 Starbucks that I consider near me, right? Every single one of them know me by name. I'd be like, hey, can I get a venti? Tam, is that you? It is. Pull on around. Thanks.
I got the drink ready.
And I don't know why I'm so
locked and loaded.
I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it though. It's nothing but
juice.
Some juice. Like some Kool-Aid.
But it's the experience.
Maybe.
I think it's the experience.
I don't know, but I am literally obsessed with Starbucks. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably like really my main obsession. Like people know you want to put a smile on my face, you can give me a $5 gift card.
That is absolutely right.
And I'm like, oh my God, you love me. Like, because you know that I love Starbucks. So yeah, that's my obsession.
Yeah. Mine is coffee.
Coffee.
And I would say it used to be Starbucks heavy, but just coffee in general is one of my like obsessions. I
don't know what Starbucks heavy.
I have like 8 of these.
I'm about to say coffee mugs.
Oh my God. Okay, so coffee category.
Oh.
Subcategory. I got a ton of coffee mugs. Yeah. And depending on my mood of the day, it might be, okay, I'm going to put it in a plastic cup, which this is it. Or I'm going to put it in a mug because I'm feeling kind of cozy. You know what I mean? I want to sit here and just drink my cup.
Oh, I get that. Like in a blanket.
Oh, depending on the mood. Like, or if I'm feeling real, I'm going to go to the office and work today. I might get I don't know, different type of mug.
She loves her coffees.
I just love it. Let me tell you why. Because my grandma turned me on to coffee when I was like 7.
Oh. Whoa.
I've been drinking coffee since I was like 7. Oh I should be like 2 feet tall because it probably should have stunted my growth, but it did not. But I would sit.
Wait, so does coffee even do anything for you since you've been drinking it for that long?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I can literally drink a cup of coffee at night.
And go to sleep.
It's like a warm blanket. Mm-hmm. It's like, and I mean, it soothes me really. And like my grandma would make me a cup of coffee, her instant coffee.
That's funny.
And we would sit and she'd read the Bible to me.
Okay.
And we would sit either like this or at the table. And
I can just
it's so
see
sentimental for me.
No, I can visualize that. Mm-hmm. You're just sitting with your grandma with I love that.
And she'd read the scripture. Yeah. And like all kinds of stuff. So I think when I drink coffee, it's such. And now that my grandmother has been gone, I don't know, 6, 7 years or so. That was like one of my best friends. Mm. It also just brings about the memory of her to me. Mm. So that's one thing
Wow, that was deep. I didn't even know that.
I mean, coffee really is like an old friend. Just,
cause child,
I'm telling you, I
her
love
coffee
it.
is like me and my Starbucks.
And for some people, it's like caffeine. For me, it's also like, you know, I got anxiety and things like that. It's a soother for me. It's actually something that helps to calm me down. Like when I'm drinking coffee, I'm like,
wow,
I'm good. You know what I mean?
Didn't know that. I used to have an obsession with Pepsi.
Oh my!
And that came
Let
from
me tell you something.
my mom. My mom, growing up, we would go to Speedway.
Oh,
we would get the
fountain drink.
We get the 32-ounce fountain drink, and it got to a point where I would drink like 2 of those a day. It got to a point where I would, yeah, I would go. I remember being in college, and I was on my dance team. I would go to practice with my 32-ounce Pepsi and the white powder donuts, right? And I did that all the way through my professional career. And I remember we had at this particular time in that career, we would have like check-ins and weigh-ins, and our trainer was there. And I had my 32-ounce Pepsi, and it killed her because she had trained like, you can't be drinking that, you can't.
Yes,
I'm like,
I am.
It ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, I'm still drinking it.
But I'm the same way with caffeine. Like I can drink a Pepsi at night and go right to bed.
And be good to go. There is nothing better. Now I don't drink Now I was the same. I used to drink Pepsi like every single. You know, when we work together, we like, you want a Pepsi?
You want a Pepsi? Even now, like when we go in, we always get a Pepsi.
I can't wait to get that Pepsi because it's been months.
But I don't. You know what? I can't drink a whole Pepsi anymore. I don't drink a whole Pepsi. I'll drink a cup maybe.
Yeah, even when like I don't like Coke, but McDonald's Coke.
Right. Woo! Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's get into this. So I have this is just a general thing, but especially my Pepsi, it has to be
a fountain.
No,
can.
It has to be cold.
Oh, absolutely.
On top of ice.
No,
I can't drink just a cold.
I want it in the can.
Cold pop.
I said, Lord, it's a fire. Fire. I went to the kitchen to get a cold pop.
Sorry, I just had to say that. But I can't do a cold pop. It has to be cold on top of ice, and it has to be a lot of ice.
I want it ice cold in the can. And or a fountain drink.
Yeah, okay, fountain drink, yes. Fountain drink. I can't if the Pepsi is warm and you put it on top of ice, horrible. That is give me disgusting.
I won't even touch the Pepsi if it's hot.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
So it has to be cold on top of cold for me.
No,
and that was a true obsession.
Yeah.
And Snickers.
A Pepsi and a Snickers.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm having a really bad day,
it was bad for me.
I'll go get a Coke from McDonald's and a small fry.
Really?
Or maybe a larger fry. And that makes my day a lot better. Like if I'm having a real rough day.
What do I do if I have a real rough day? I don't know. I actually probably a bottle of wine.
You do hookah?
I mean,
but you do hookah just on a regular.
Yeah, I would say that's a good day or a bad day. Yeah, that's a good day or a bad day. Yeah, I don't know if I really have anything besides like
something that
a glass of wine. That's probably about it. But no, I did used to be obsessed with Pepsi.
Yeah,
the powdered donuts and Snickers.
Yeah,
but this is now
those donuts.
New obsession.
I not the white powder, but the chocolate.
Ew.
I used to love those donuts with a glass of milk.
She needs some milk.
Another slight obsession is s'mores.
Really?
I've been real heavy on making my own s'mores.
Like lately?
Yeah, you can put it in the oven and make one.
What?
Yeah.
How you do it in the oven?
You take the bottom graham cracker.
Yeah.
Put your piece of chocolate on top. Put your marshmallow. Don't put the top graham cracker. Put it in the broiler for 1 minute. It melts everything. Take it out and then stick the top on there.
Oh.
Tiffany taught me how to do that.
Wow.
Because I love s'mores. It's just like I'm not making a fire every day.
Ooh,
to make a s'mores.
But the another thing she's obsessed with is pumpkins.
Oh my! Not pumpkins.
Pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
But cacti, what is it? Cacti?
Oh, I love cactuses. Cacti.
She's obsessed with.
Yeah.
But when I literally, she's
love
obsessed.
Cactuses.
Which I don't. I remember when I first learned that, I was like, why?
I think they are my. You know how I think I told you this. It's
your
weird.
Animal, your soul, or your spirit animal, or
it's my spirit plant because
they hurt people.
They prickly on the outside, but they do bloom flowers. So they look like this ferocious plant,
but
that
don't
could kill
look ferocious.
I'm rough around the edges, but then I got a soft side.
Oh,
that's why I like cactuses, and they stand the test of time.
Okay, you better speak it.
Let me tell you something. We can go all day, but they are my spirit plant.
Mm-hmm. I need to find a spirit plant
or a spirit anything, animal. You know,
I need to find a spirit something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
okay.
Okay. Anything else with obsessions?
That's it.
Yeah, she got a lot of obsessions. I stick to my.
I only really have 3. Okay.
This is it for me. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks again for watching, and remember, no tea,
just coffee.
Talk to you later.
Bye.